皆さんこんにちは。毎日少しずつ社交に使える英語の上達を目指すソーシャルイングリッシュポッドキャストへようこそ。今日はぜひもっと自信を持って英会話してみましょう。 Are you ready, Percy? Let's go!
Thank you for that amazing introduction, Hikari. And I am so pumped up and ready to share with you today's episode of the Social English Podcast. Okay, now today we're going to talk about something that I am pretty sure you have wondered about. Now, these are my thoughts on the 5 American shows that you should watch to improve your conversational English. Now, these shows, I will rank them from what level they are at. In other words, are they beginner level? Are they medium? Or are they advanced level? Okay, so intermediate, medium, beginner, advanced, something like that. I will tell you what each show is, and I will tell you what type of level, what level that you need to understand it. Okay, so that is what's going on today at the Social English Podcast. Hi, I am Percy. I am your host for the podcast, the Social English Podcast. Here every day, our goal is to increase the learning abilities and the skill level of the Japanese English learner so they can get going on their journey to English mastery. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about some shows. Now, what I did was I really thought about these shows and I took some time, and I want to talk to you about the characteristics of some of these shows. Now, some of these shows are children's shows, but I believe, depending on your level, they can help you to understand English even further. Some of the shows are comedy shows, and I think that you would find the level of English used day-to-day English and not too difficult to follow. Okay, so let's talk about those shows one by one. These are the top 5 shows I recommend that you can watch and listen to improve your English. Now, the first show is Sesame Street. Okay, Sesame Street. It is the beginner to medium level of English. Sesame Street is a long running show that was started in the 70s by Jim Henson. It is a show that features puppets called Muppets and human beings interacting with each other on a lot of day-to-day adventures and situations. Now, the reason why this is a good show is because even though it is aimed at children, the level of English is just right there at beginner level to medium level of English for a Japanese learner. And it's not to a preschool or baby level of English. Also, there are many activities in the show that will show you what words mean and how they interact with other words, counting practices so you can practice your numbers and things of that nature. This show is on PBS Public Broadcasting, but you can easily find this show on the internet and watch it and understand what I'm talking about when I recommend this particular show to you. Okay? It is a very popular show and very easy to find. The second show, show number 2, that I recommend to you is a show called Schoolhouse Rock. Schoolhouse Rock is a show that was created in the 70s to teach children better English skills and grammar, and it was one of the first shows that was a short form show, which means that it was made just to make small music clips in every single lesson. So you have music and dialogue and everything like that written by a composer of music and an educator. This is why certain topics of Schoolhouse Rock go from grammar points to American history to math. Now, this English is also in the beginner to medium level of English for a Japanese learner. One of the reasons that I recommend you watch Schoolhouse Rock is because it gets into specific parts of English quickly that show you things like adjectives, with a whole song dedicated to adjectives with examples, and other expressive forms such as nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, just all kinds of expressions and words that you could use, and it'll explain to you where those words fit in sentences or as you speak them. Because even though Schoolhouse Rock does focus on grammar, it's not the grammar structure, but it's how to use it in different situations, which makes it very valuable to you as a Japanese learner of English. Now, one more additional reason I do recommend this show is because it is short form. These songs are usually between 2.5 to possibly 4 minutes long, so you can listen to these songs over a short period of time and take in a lot of information from them. They are also in a visual format because they're in video, and they're often very entertaining as well. So that is number 2, Schoolhouse Rock, and you can find that online in different formats to watch to help you improve your English. Okay, the third show that I want to recommend is called Word World. Okay, Word World. This show is aimed at the very beginner. So if you're in the medium to intermediate or advanced, you probably will not be watching the show Word World. Now, Word World is an computer animated show that shows you different characters or objects in this world, but they are composed of the actual spelling of the word that object or animal is. For example, one of the characters is a dog, and the character design is using the letters D, O, and G for dog. There's also a character sheep, and yes, the sheep is also comprised of S, H, E, E, and P as the character. So you see all these things: cloud, bush, water, nest, and these objects are formed by the letters that spell what the object is. So it is a great visual way for you to see how something is not only spelled, but how it is said and what that object is, what is this particular object in the English language. Once again, that show is called Word World, and Word World is aimed at the beginner English language level. Okay, let's move on to the next. The next show is called Saturday Night Live. This is a comedy show. Now, this show is in the intermediate to advanced level of English. But the reason that you want to watch Saturday Night Live is because the way that the actors do each part of the show, they speak in a very clear and irregular speed of English. Sometimes there are words that you may not understand or quickly spoken English, but this is okay because it will help you to develop your English language mastery. Additionally, Saturday Night Live covers many social aspects and current events in America and even the world. Now, because of this reason, and America is an English-speaking country, you can use the topics you listen to and watch in the show to understand what are topics of conversation in America at the time. It will give you information about what Americans are talking about and good ways to continue having conversations with your friends, your classmates, or people you meet while you are traveling. This is why I recommend Saturday Night Live, the comedy show. And once again, it is in the intermediate to advanced level of English. Now, the third show that I recommend for you, I'm sorry, not the third, but the last show, the fifth show is the show called One Day at a Time. Now, this is a situation comedy. This is called a situation comedy. And it is in the intermediate to advanced level of English. But if you are between beginner, and intermediate, if you are between beginner and intermediate level of English, I still recommend you try watching the show. This show is a comedy show, but it is just about the funny times and parts of the life of a woman raising her children with her mother. And it also involves a local handyman that helps them out and is part of the comedy of the show. This show features some very slowly spoken and clear English. Also, the English that is spoken here is a little bit different, maybe with a little bit of slightly different accents sometimes. But that also helps you to understand that even though you are in a country such as America, visiting, or Canada, or maybe even Germany, or even countries such as the UK, Australia, and New Zealand, that even though they speak English, that you may hear slight differences between the English. So it prepares your ear for listening clearly to different types of English. Okay. Now, those are the 5 shows that I recommend for you to watch, and you can find all of them online in some capacity. So you can take advantage of all 5 of these shows and increase your English fluency. Okay? Now, let's review all 5 of those shows one more time. Please put these in your Google Notes or write them down so you could remember them for later. These are the shows that you want to watch to improve your English ability. Number 1, Sesame Street. It is beginner to medium level of English. Number 2, Schoolhouse Rock. It is beginner to medium level English. Number 3, Word World. This is beginner level English. Number 4, Saturday Night Live. It is intermediate to advanced English. And the last one, number 5, is One Day at a Time. This is intermediate to advanced English. Okay? So there you have it. Those are the 5 shows that I recommend you watch to help you improve your English. I hope that you got a lot out of that, because that is all for today's episode. But I'll tell you what, it was great sharing this time with you, and I'm so happy I was able to share my thoughts on what I thought would help you out on your journey to learning natural spoken English here at the Social English Podcast. Now, you can still become a guest on our show. We are having applications that you can find at realsocialenglish.com, where you can become a guest on our show and ask me a question that you are struggling with or have a problem with, and I will fix it on the show right there, so you and all the listeners can learn all at the same time together and get something great out of that. Also, don't forget to visit our website to get your free guide, the 7 common mistakes most Japanese English learners make and how to correct them. This is a free guide that we made for you. All you need to do for us is provide your email so that we can keep you up to date on all our latest and greatest episodes of the show. And it was awesome talking to you today. See you next time. Peace.
今日は楽しい時間をありがとうございました。ぜひ私たちのウェブサイトrealsocialenglish.com を訪問して日本語訳と役立つ情報を手に入れてください。また次回お会いしましょう。バイバイ。See you next time. Bye bye.